Well, folks, another year of conference championship football is in the books for the NFL. Now it's time to look forward towards Super Bowl 58. And what's that? That sound you hear is Patrick Mahomes slowly creeping up on Tom Brady's legacy. I'm sure that Brady's fans are all very rational and not insecure about it at all. But anyway, if you're wondering why this video is shorter, it's because, there's not as many games, only 2. But I did my best to go over them for you guys because you guys are the best. The video will begin right after this. Before I begin, I want to give a shout out to the sponsor of today's video, Game Time. Game Time is a ticketing app that makes it faster and easier for you to get tickets to your favorite events at a moment's notice. If you're somebody who has a hard time deciding whether or not to go out to places, then Game Time is perfect for you. Game Time has all of my needs satisfied. Tons of different seats. It's so convenient, and it's not just sporting events. You got shows, you got artists, concerts, whatever. Game Time has it. Another cool feature on Game Time is something called Zone Deals, which allows customers to buy tickets in a general area of revenue rather than picking out just a specific row or a group of seats. Game Time is the only ticketing app that gives you complete peace of mind with your purchase. You can see the view from your seat before you buy it, so you know exactly what to expect when you arrive. Game Time is also obsessed with finding ways to help you save money on tickets. Game Time has deals on tickets right up to the start of the event and even an hour after it starts. That's right, after. The Game Time guarantee means you will always get the best price. If you find tickets in the same section and row for less, Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code BARRY for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code BARRY, B-A-R-R-Y, for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. Kansas City versus Baltimore. Baltimore got the ball first, but went 3 and out, and then Mr. Mahomes went to work with some incredible throws to his friend Travis Kelce. Did you know that Travis Kelce is dating Taylor Swift? I don't know if you knew that. The Chiefs went up 7-0 early on this beautiful back shoulder throw, and it looked like the Chiefs offense was going to put up another 40-burger, but that's not what happened. Forced to respond, Lamar Jackson answered the allegations of him being a choker early on with this beautiful long touchdown pass to tie the game at 7, but Mahomes calmly responded again with another long touchdown drive, making some Houdini plays that was capped off with a touchdown run by not Tyreek Hill. The Chiefs defense was amazing in this game, strip sacking Lamar Jackson, but it didn't end up mattering because the Chiefs went for it on 4th and 1 and were stuffed. But after the amazing touchdown throw from Jackson early on, he continued to struggle, and his playoff demons reared their ugly head once again. Just before halftime, Harrison Butker nailed the clutch field goal to give KC a 17-7 halftime lead, and from that point on, Andy Reid went into full conservative Andy Reid mode, just kind of sitting on the lead. Thankfully for him, though, Lamar Jackson was unable to do anything, and Mahomes really didn't have a great second half. But with the defense playing as well as it was, with the addition of some luck, such as the Ravens fumbling the ball in the end zone in an incredible rendition of Mecole Hardman from the week before, it gave the Chiefs just enough time and margin for error to hold on to their 10-point lead for a bit. Really, the most impactful play of the game, other than the lost fumble, was the Lamar Jackson interception in field goal range, which helped Kansas City take some more time off the clock. The Ravens would eventually get a field goal with about 2.5 minutes left to make it a 7-point game. KC went for the dagger, and they got it on this 32-yard connection from Mahomes to MVS to send them to the Super Bowl for the 4th time in 5 years, and for Mahomes looking for his 3rd ring and 3rd Super Bowl MVP. As for Baltimore, well, tough shit. That's how it goes. No offense to Odell. San Francisco versus Detroit. The Lions came roaring out of this one. Get it? Because Lions make roaring noises? You know what? Fuck you. I'm trying my best here. Jameson Williams, famous gambler, had a long-ass touchdown run to put Detroit up 7-0 early. The 49ers missed an early field goal. Detroit then went up 14-0 on a David Montgomery touchdown run, and oh my god, it was like, what the fuck's going on? Brock Purdy would quiet the tide just a little bit by handing off to 1950s superhero Christian McCaffrey to make it 14-7, but the Detroit Lions didn't blink. In fact, they picked off Brock Purdy and scored another touchdown off of that by Jahmyr Gibbs to go up by 14 once again. They even went up by 17 at halftime after a field goal, which they probably should have done more of. More on that later. Down 17, Brock Purdy went to work with some nice throws, cut the lead to 14. Now here's where things started to go south for Detroit. You're up 14, you're well within field goal range. Instead of kicking the field goal to go up by 3 scores, you go for it on 4th down, and although it was a good throw and should have been caught, it was a drop, but that's the chance that you take. Gave the momentum all the way back to the 49ers. And then there was this Tom Brady-ass bullshit deep throw by Purdy, which set up another 49ers touchdown to make it a 7-point game. And then Jahmyr Gibbs lost a fumble deep in Lions territory. It just snowballed out of control. Some real Super Bowl 51 type shit. The 49ers eventually tied the game up up at 24, and things just kept going nowhere for Detroit as the 49ers kicked a field goal to go ahead. The second dumb decision by Dan Campbell, going once again deep in field goal range on 4th down, and while the first one was pretty close in the drop pass, this one was not even close. That's 6 points Dan Campbell left on the board. I'm all for being aggressive, but there's being aggressive and then there's being stupid, and Dan Campbell most likely cost his team a trip to the Super Bowl. Brock Purdy with the extremely deceptive run then helped let a drive, which basically put the game out of reach, putting the 49ers up 10 with 3 minutes left. Detroit would respond with a stat padding drive and cut it to 3 on a touchdown pass, 34-31, but the onside kick was no good, and the 49ers secured their second trip to the Super Bowl in 5 years with a 34-31 comeback win. In the second half, the 49ers shit on the Lions, much like San Francisco residents shit on the streets. It's time for the Barry Awards, Conference Championship Edition. My offensive player of the week, I didn't want to do it, but I had to. I went with Travis Kelce, the old man. 11 catches, 116 yards, a touchdown catch. He's now the all-time receptions leader in NFL playoff history. He's also probably having a lot of premarital coitus with Taylor Swift following the win. My defensive player of the week, I went with Nick Bosa. Again, not a lot of standout performances, but again, there's only 2 games, so the sample size isn't quite as big. But Bosa had 3 tackles and multiple sacks in San Francisco's championship win over Detroit. Biggest losers, I struggled to choose between who was the biggest loser, so I said, fuck it, I'll just choose both of them. Starting with Lamar Jackson. This was a golden opportunity for Lamar Jackson to really silence, or at least temporarily silence, a lot of the doubters and haters who say that he's not a postseason quarterback and that you can't win with him, blah, 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 blah. And I really, really hate being an armchair quarterback and somebody who tries to be an armchair psychologist, because obviously these guys want to win, and it's obvious, it's so easy to look at the result and work backwards, but man, at this point of his career, it's just obvious Lamar Jackson just has not been good enough in the postseason, and until that changes, he's going to have that stigma and albatross around him. Yeah, he's a great quarterback in the regular season, but this was a winnable game for the Ravens, and the end zone fumble wasn't his fault, but when your defense holds Mahomes and the Chiefs to 17 points at home and you're not able to come out with a win, that does not reflect well on you. My other biggest loser of the week is obviously Dan Campbell. I know Dan Campbell, everybody loves Dan Campbell because he wears his emotions on his sleeve and he's balls to the wall all the time and he looks like a lion. And I know that a lot of people are going to say, well, the Lions, they overachieved by getting this far and they should be proud of their season. I don't believe that bullshit, because in the NFL, nothing's guaranteed. To have a 17-point lead in conference championship game, okay? The Lions will probably never get closer to winning a Super Bowl than they did this year. And Campbell passing up on not 1, but 2 field goals that would have gave Detroit 6 more points and put them up 3 possessions the first time around and tied the game second time around. I understand that it's so easy to second guess coaches, but even in real time, this seemed like such an easy decision. You take the points, there's aggressive, and then there's stupid, and I think that Dan Campbell, those 2 coaching decisions, and again, Jahmyr Gibbs fumbling, there was that fluky Brock Purdy deep throw bounce. It's never just one thing, but there's usually 4 or 5 or so plays every single game that have the most impact on the outcome of the game, and I think that those 2 decisions to go for it on 4th down were the wrong decision, and I think they ultimately were enough to swing the balance in the 49ers' favor, and I think they destroyed the Lions' chances of making the Super Bowl. There were 4 touchdown passes thrown on this conference championship game weekend, and none of them were really of the check down variety, so for the first time ever, I really don't have a submission for the Tom Brady check down of the week. I will veer off course and ad lib and say that the biggest Tom Brady bullshit throw of the week was definitely Brock Purdy's deep throw to Ayuk here in the 3rd quarter versus the Lions. No question, this is some typical Brady bullshit, Brady luck that would have happened for Brady. And now it's playoff puppy time. You better sit and watch this entire thing, or else I will start crying, and you wouldn't want to make me sad, would you?